Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to another Arma 3 editor tutorial video thingamajig. So I've been wondering myself, and I've ran across a lot where people are wondering how to do like an extraction and insertion. Completely AI controlled. You are just basically a standby, or maybe you're not. It doesn't really matter. It all works the same. Let's first set down me. I'm gonna be just this guy right here, and I went ahead and got rid of the whole scenario I was building. I do have it, but I got rid of it because it was taking too long to do each individual thing. I'm just going to go over everything that I would be doing. So there I am. Next thing I need to do is let me set down 2 civilians. Oops. So we have this guy and this guy. And first thing you want to do is when you set down a unit, just out of habit, name them. I'm going to be called Player 1. I'm going to name this beggar U1 for Unit 1. And I'm going to name the civilian Unit 2, or U2, you know, like the artist. Thumbs up if you've ever heard of him. Let's set down a helicopter. And I don't want a civilian helicopter, I want the M9 Hummingbird. So we're going to go over several things in this, several key points. First is going to be the move, and then we're going to do the land, and then we're going to have him take off, and then we're going to have him land, and then we're going to work our way from there, and I'm going to go step by step. So what you need to do is first get your pilot and set a move command. He has to be in the air in order to land. That's just that. I mean, that's just what you got to do. Sorry. So I'm going to do it from a landing position. If you want him to be in the air, just double click on the group, go down to transformations, and then set this to like 100, and now he'll be flying. I think 80 is the minimum, I want to say, because he has to be a certain height, or else he's just going to fall to his death because he won't have the engine running if he's too low. So we already know that the pilot's going to go up in the air, and he's going to move to here. Okay, that's just a given. I mean, that's just a natural thing. So if we go in and preview it real quick, and I'll fast forward it. So you can hear him starting his engine, and he moves. Alright, we're good there. So step 1 done. We got to move. Next step, landing. This is the part that a lot of people have trouble with. In an extraction, the helicopter pilot will land with the engine running. The engine does not stop. And I'll go over to the difference on how to get the engine to stop and how to keep the engine running. But the very first thing you need to do is you need to plan out your extraction point, obviously. So what we need to do is, say I want the helicopter to land right here. In the little search bar, type in pad, go to props, go to invisible helipad. Now any one of these will work. Okay, none of these, but these, the helipads. And I'll explain. Okay, so like a civilian helipad, if you click on that and just place it, you can actually see the helipad visually. But the invisible helipad would be like landing out in the middle of nowhere. And that's what I want to use. So this is going to be I'm going to name him. I'm going to name it. I'm going to call it Heli Extract. This really serves no purpose right now. I'm going to paste another, I'm going to place another one, we'll say right there. I'm going to call this one Heli Insert. Okay, and then for later purposes, I'm going to paste an actual helipad over here. Oop, not that one, you can't really see it. No, we'll do the civilian one. We'll place that right there. And I'm going to call this one Heli Land. Okay. Next thing I need to do is I need to actually name the helicopter. So I'm going to double click over here to open up the attributes of the M9 Hummingbird. I'm just going to call it M9. Okay. Now the M9 is going to come over and it's going to move to here. Now for an extraction, this is very important. Let's find the extraction helipad. Move another waypoint. Now on this waypoint, double click it. Go all the way to the top where it says advanced. Click land. Okay, so now he should come over and he will land right there. Okay. Now I'm player 1, so we're good. Okay, so what he's going to do is he's just going to come over and he's just going to land. Keep the engine running for eternity until I set another waypoint. So I'm going to set a waypoint here, somewhere roughly in between. Another move command. Nah, we'll keep it out there. Why not? So now we have this waypoint. Now we're going to set another waypoint near the insertion. And this is going to be another land. Hover over it. Now he's going to land. Then I want, that's it. That's all I want to do right now. So let's take a look at this. So no coding yet. So engine's running, takes off, he flies over, and comes in for a landing. We have touchdown. Now he's going to take back off, and he's going to do it again. Over there. Only this time when he lands, because there was nothing afterwards, he's just going to stay right there. So, what's next? Now we need to make a way for the game to check to see if these guys are in the helicopter or not. Okay, I'm going to become their group leader for this. So, the way you do this is we're going to set up a trigger. Okay, so we set up a trigger. Next thing you need to do is you need to set up the trigger owner. Or no, do we? Yeah, you do. So we're going to set up the trigger owner to the helicopter pilot. Just right click on the helicopter pilot and set trigger owner, then click on the trigger itself. Now we need to sync the land, so click on land, right click, connect, set waypoint activation to the trigger. Now what we're going to do is go into the trigger. So the type you want skip waypoint, owner only, and present, because it's only going to look at the pilot. And then condition. Okay, this is where we're going to start typing in the condition thing. So we have the reason why we name the units U1, U2, and player 1 is because what we need to do is we need to make the condition true. If the condition is ever false, the trigger will never activate. The trigger will only activate on true. So what we want to do is we want to do a double parenthesis exclamation mark, which means not, and then type in alive. So not alive, unit 1. So that's going to check to see if the unit 1 is alive or not. Or, so if unit 1 is not alive, then he's going to be scrubbed from the list. But if he is alive, then we're going to check to see if unit 1 is in M9. Okay. So if any of these return false, okay, so if this one returns false, it'll look at this one. If both of them return false, then the whole condition is false. If one of them returns true, then the condition returns true. Now, so now what we can do is just click OK. Yeah, that should be fine. So what we're going to do is let's go in and check this out. Helicopter starts. Helicopter starts. He flies over. I forgot which one. Him, the beggar. So he's gonna land. And to show you how this works, notice he's not taking off. Now if I run out here, let's tell them to stop. Let's tell Unit 3 to get inside.
Get in that vehicle.
Notice that he's still not taking off. Now if I tell Unit 3 to disembark, come over here. Let's tell Unit 1
Get in that vehicle.
to get in the vehicle. Now he's going to take off. And he'll go to the next waypoint. So now you know the extraction. Now let me just show you an example. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to restart it. Of what happens if the other portion of it returns true. Tell him all to stop. Tell Unit 2 to move right there. So he's going to come in for a landing again. Now he's right there. And he's just sitting chilling, right? Now he's dead. Now he'll take off. So now you can see the difference between not alive and if he's in the helicopter. That's basically what the code does. So now what we can do is we can, so that's a extraction. Let's go ahead and finish the whole thing. So if you want multiple people, write in the very first one unit, and then you can type in and, because now it's going to check to see if that's true, and it's going to check if this is true. So we do the alive unit 2, and then we're going to check to see if unit 2 is in M9. Okay, so now we're only going to focus on them. You just keep going for as many units as you have, basically. What did I miss? Oh, I can't spell. There. Okay, now this is the other thing we're going to check. So if we come over here to this one, so next what we need to do is we're going to set up another waypoint right over here, and we're going to set up another trigger. Same thing. We click on the land, set activation to here, get the, I'm pretty sure, didn't I? yeah, the helicopter pilot. Set him as the trigger owner. Come up here, go to skip waypoint. Now for this one, we want to check if Unit 1 is alive, because it's important, or Unit 1, I think I can go not in M9. Let me check. No, something's wrong. Is that maybe out? I have to remember how to do this. Usually you just go no, it's expecting a bull. Let's go M9, so Unit 1. Okay, there we go. That might work, I don't know. So let's check this out real quick. Let's make sure this works. Nope, it does not. So this is the one that kind of gets me. Okay, so let me see. I do want him to land though. That's the thing. Not Unit 1. That's not gonna work. I'm not sure how to do the not in. I mean, usually it'd just be like that, but okay, so instead of doing that, let's come back out of here into the land, and let's go to default, and then transport unload maybe? Then we don't need this trigger. That might work. So let's check this out. So he comes over. He's going to land. We already know this works, so let's tell them both to get in there. He's going to land. Okay, notice they're not doing anything. Now if I tell them to disembark, now he'll take off. Okay, so that's an insertion. So now we got an extraction, we have an insertion, and then we have another waypoint, or another move, which means he's going home. So now, to tell him to go home and land and shut off his engines, this could be important without the crew actually getting out. We create a move waypoint, sync it to the helipad, and then inside, it really does. I don't think it has to be synced to it, but yeah. What you do is you come in here into the attributes of the move. Under, is it condition? Or is it active? I think it's activation. You put the name of the helicopter, land, and then in quotation marks you say land. And what that's telling the M9 to do is to land, and the mode is land. Okay. We know everything pretty much works. So we can just do this in fast forward motion. Just gonna take off, come over, He's going to go. Now, I only did Unit 1. No, I did all the units. So he's going to sit there until the entire crew is out. So let's disembark. Now he's going to come over here. And he's going to land. Most people do, a lot of people end up doing extractions with that because they don't know how to do that part. And basically all I wanted to do is show you how to do that. Now, along with, you know, other triggers and stuff like that, you can do an automated extraction, which if we take me off completely, let's set down a trigger and we're going to automate an extraction. So let's do skip waypoint. Over here we're going to take this and we're going to sync it as the group, the owner. We're going to make this a 5 by 5 by 5. Set that over the landing pad right there. We're going to group these two together. We're going to tell the leader to hold. We're going to take that hold waypoint and connect it to this trigger. And then we're going to do another waypoint and make it a get in. So a get in. And we're going to grab it and take it down to this helicopter here. Sync it to that. Then we're going to do another waypoint and we're going to tell them to get out. And I'm going to sync it to the helipad. And then from there, I'm going to tell them to come over here and hold. Okay. Now, let's make sure that they're not... Okay, so they're not looking at me. And that's basically everything in a nutshell. Like, we have the takeoff, the extraction, the insertion, and the landing at base. And I'll go ahead and show you this other thing too. What we can do is here, whenever he does this right here, I'm going to do another waypoint over here. Okay, I clicked on the wrong thing. We're going to do another waypoint over here. Actually, I will do a waypoint over here, and I'm going to tell him to hold. And I'll explain that in a minute. So he's going to land here, and he might shut off his engines, he might not. I don't know what he does exactly after that. I forget. So let's check this out as an automated extraction insertion type thing. Should have set markers on the map too. So he's going to come over. He'll go down and hit that trigger. The helicopter is going to hit the trigger, not the person. There he goes. Now they go in. There for a second I thought he was going to take off. There's one. There's two. They're going to go up. They're going to land. Told them to get out. he's going to go over there, where he will land. Which then he's going to take off again. Okay, so now we have the basics of all of this. Now what happens if you don't want the helicopter to actually land at a home base and shut off and take up, you know, precious CPU memory? We want to delete him. So what I want to do is I'm going to set a trigger around this bush. Just a little 5 by 5 by 5, not negative 5, 5. And I want it to skip waypoint. I want the activation to be me alone. On activation, this is going to skip this waypoint, and he is going to fly into this trigger. Now, this trigger, let's select that. Let's do a move command. I want him to move over here. This trigger is going to be a present only. So, I mean, I could do anything actually. Any blue 4, anybody. But I'm going to do I'm going to be very specific on this one. And actually, no, I don't even want that to be activated like that. I just want it to happen. So I don't even want that waypoint to be set, because what I want to do is I want you to just be able to see what happens. So when I walk into this, none. What I want to happen is I want delete vehicle M9. Okay, something's wrong. I'm missing something. So on activation, when the owner is present, vehicle, delete vehicle, crew. Okay, so delete vehicle M9. I think I did it right that time. Yeah. And I just want you to see what happens here. So I'm going to move me over here facing that so I know where it is. So let's let it play through real quick. And this is an easy way to free up memory for like an insertion. I'll also show you the create vehicle command sometime if you want to know how to do it. That'll be a good way to create a vehicle to come in for an extraction. And I can walk in there and do it right now. Like, that's no big deal. Let him come over and land. Now he's gonna go over there. Oh, he's just gonna kind of sit and chill. Okay, now watch. Boop. I didn't mean to kill them. That works. But you understand what the delete thing does. You also, just for future reference, inside here, you also want to do a M9 delete vehicle. Okay, so delete vehicle. So vehicle, delete vehicle crew. So M9 delete vehicle crew. I don't think I can. So I don't think I can just type in crew on this. I don't think it works that way. No. Invalid number and expression. Yeah. Okay, so I can't remember how to do that one. But yeah, that's the gist of it. That's extraction, insertion, deletion in a nutshell. If you wanted to create a we could create one also. Let's see. Create vehicle. But you need type, position, markers, placement, special. So type, creation, position. So we can do a... I don't know if this is the actual type of it. Create vehicle. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I don't remember how to do that either. Okay, well, I'll get that at another day. So now you know how to go from take a helicopter, do an extraction, have the AI go in automatically, do an insertion, and then land, shut off the rotors, and then you also know how to delete the vehicle without deleting the crew and killing them horribly in whatever manner you wish. Alright, so hope you learned something. I sure did, from mistakes that I made testing this out. As always, comment, rate, subscribe, suggest, and I'll see you in the next video.